NBC Sports. Brings you the second game of the 1968 World Series. The Detroit Tigers versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Brought to you by
Chrysler Canada Limited and the Dodge, Plymouth, Roots, and Simca dealers who sell the quality engineered cars and trucks by Chrysler.
By the more than 1,350 branches in Canada of the Imperial Bank of Commerce, and by Gillette, makers of new Right Guard antiperspirant in the silver can.
The Gateway Arch again. Bush Memorial Stadium, St. Louis, the capacity crowd for Game 2. A bright sun has just broken through. However, it's about 20 to 25 degrees cooler than yesterday. The temperature right now as we approach game time is 60 degrees in St. Louis, and some of the fans have light coats or top coats on in the stands. But it still should be a fine day for baseball. And, of course, as you all know, we have a right-hander, Nelson Briles, pitching for the Cardinals today, and a left-hander, Mickey Lolich, going for the Tigers. I'm Kurt Gowdy of NBC Sports. This is Harry Carey, the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, and our wide-ranging shortstop, Tony Kubek, will be down in the stands and along the dugouts for you as we report this game. Well, the Tigers are glad Game 1 is over. And as they all said yesterday in tribute to Bob Gibson, no club, nobody could have beat Gibson yesterday, as good as he was. And also, the Tigers feel they'll be much more relaxed today. And Harry Carey, I think they do feel that they had some butterflies yesterday, and today they won't be as over-anxious, many of them playing in their first World Series game yesterday.
That's true. They had to have a little bit of an effect on them. The Detroit Tigers proved their worth through the American League season, and it was their first game yesterday. I know Cardinal scouting reports, Kurt, referred to Mickey Lolich as the pitcher that's so made with the kind of stuff that he has to give the Cardinals the most trouble. He, being a southpaw, will counteract the left-handed hitting strength of the Cardinal lineup with Brock and McCarver, and of course it keeps Roger Maris out of the lineup as Ron Davis will be playing right field. So the Cardinals have success during the season against left-handers, but against a good southpaw like Mickey Lolich, the Detroit Tigers, who I'm sure would be happy with an even break in the two games here in St. Louis before returning to their own ballpark in Detroit for the next three games, know that this is the one they have to win.
All right, Harry, and right now, let's go down to the field. We're going to have the introduction of today's starting lineup. First of all, Harry, take the fans around the ballpark again.
All right, Kurt, we talked about it yesterday. The distances, of course, are uniform. Left field line, 330. Right field line, 330. 386 in each alley, and 414 straight away. As you see, and as you can tell, it'll be another capacity crowd, of course, of almost 55,000 paid. We had the biggest crowd ever to see a baseball game here yesterday. The band out in center field, the usual bunting and flags that make the World Series one of the most colorful events of all sports are all in evidence here. There's Nelson Briles, you see, getting ready, the right-hander, and across the way on your split screen, the left-hander Mickey Lolich of the Detroit Tigers.
Mickey Lolich, winner, the number 2 winner on the Tiger staff this year. And for the second year in a row, he had a strong final 6 weeks of the season. He's an excellent strikeout pitcher, averaging over 8 strikeouts per game in 1968. Nelson Briles was the number 2 winner on the Cardinals. He won 19. 25-year-old right-hander, lives in Carmichael, California. This is his second series start. He pitched a 5-2 complete game over the Red Sox in the third game of the 1967 series. A good control pitcher.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the lineups for Game 2 of the 1968 World Series. First, the Detroit Tigers. Here is the manager of the Tigers, Mayo Smith. Batting first and playing second base, number 3, Dick McCullough. Batting second and playing shortstop, number 24, Mickey Stanley. Batting third and playing right field, number 6, Al Kaline. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 25, Norm Cash. Batting fifth and playing left field, number 23, Willie Horton. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 5, Jim Northrup. Batting seventh and catching, number 11, Bill Freehand. Batting eighth and playing third base, number 8, Don Wirt. Batting ninth and pitching, Mickey Lolich, who is warming up in the bullpen. Here are the remaining players and coaches of the Detroit Tigers. And now for the St. Louis Cardinals, here is manager Red Schoendienst. Batting first and playing left field, number 20, Lou Brock. Batting second and playing second base, number 25, Julian Javier. Batting third and playing center field, number 21, Kurt Flood. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 30, Orlando Cepeda. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 18, Mike Shannon. Batting sixth and catching, number 15, Tim McCarver. Batting seventh and playing right field, number 14, Ron Davis. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 27, Dal Maxwell. Batting ninth and pitching, Nelson Trials, who is warming up in the bullpen. Here are the remaining players and coaches of the St. Louis Cardinals. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem, which will be played by Dick Brenna's band and will be sung by St. Louis entertainer, Mr. Marty Bronson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the guns bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Both clubs back in their dugouts. In a moment, the umpires will be moving out for the pregame meeting. Early stiff wind today. Right now it's blowing from home plate out towards second. It's a batter's breeze. The color guard, the band being cleared off the field in the center field area. The bullpen personnel are moving. The Cardinals down to the right center field bullpen and the Tigers to the left center field bullpen. And so the Tigers, who will be going home to open in Detroit Saturday, are hoping to get a split as they leave here. They'll be satisfied with that. And the Cardinals are hoping to have the big jump as they go on to Detroit. We'll see how it all comes out. This second game of the 1968 World Series is being brought to you from St. Louis as the Tigers meet the St. Louis Cardinals.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel confident. Stay dry with new Right Guard Antiperspirant, a completely new product from Right Guard. Right Guard Antiperspirant is a new defense against perspiration. It contains a tested agent that checks perspiration wetness. Feel confident. Stay dry. Get new Right Guard Antiperspirant in the silver can.
Give me a dozen lemon limes.
What?
Lemon limes.
Look, I can give you lemons or limes, but there's no such thing as a lemon lime.
No? Well, what do you call this? Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Oh, smell it. It's not sweet like plain lime. The lemon keeps it tangy. See that? Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Now could you give me a dozen lemon limes?
Sure, mister. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Players assigned to the second game of the series. Jim Honeychick of the American League will be behind the plate. Stan Landis of the National League's at first base. Bill Kinnaman of the American League's at second base. Doug Harvey of the National League at third. Bill Heller of the American League will umpire the left field foul line. And Tom Gorman, who was behind the plate yesterday, will be umpiring the right field foul line. Red Schoendienst, the manager of the Cardinals, Mayo Smith, the manager of the Tigers. They exchanged the batting orders. And we pause briefly for station identification. The honor of throwing out the first ball goes to a Hall of Famer and a former great St. Louis Cardinal player, Joe Medwick. Harry Carey.
Yes, there he is, about to throw out the first ball. He was just voted into the Hall of Fame. He tosses the ball to Tim McCarver. There's Gussie Bush next to him there, along with the Commissioner of Baseball, William Eckert. Just one more for the cameraman, Kurt. What a great right-handed hitter he must have been. Joe Medwick. And I imagine the older Tiger fans will remember the World Series of 1934 when Medwick was one of the participants in quite a tumultuous scene.
Now, once again, the batting orders. You're keeping score along with us. For the visiting Tigers, leading off will be Dick McAuliffe at second base. Mickey Stanley's back at shortstop, batting second. Al Kalines in right field, hitting third. Norman Cash is at first base, batting cleanup. Willie Horton will be in left field, hitting fifth. And the Cardinals are taking the field. Jim Northrup's in center field, batting sixth. Bill Freehan is catching, hitting seventh. Don Word at third base, batting eighth. And Mickey Lolich will be the pitcher. Same Tiger lineup as yesterday, same batting order, except the pitcher. But the Cardinals have changed a bit. They have a new player in there, and also they've juggled their order with a left-handed pitcher going against them. Leading off will be Lou Brock in left field. Javier now is hitting second today. He's playing second base. Kurt Flood drops down to third in center field. Orlando Cepeda is the cleanup man. Mike Shannon, the third base, batting fifth. Tim McCarver hitting sixth and catching. Ron Davis is in right field. Davis in right field today, batting seventh. Del Maxville is the shortstop, batting eighth. And Nelson Briles will be pitching. McAuliffe and Stanley are swinging bats off to the left of home plate. They'll be ready to start it off for the Tigers, and in here to start Game 2 of the World Series is the outstanding voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, Mr. Harry Carey.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Hello again, everybody. You're all set to go. A beautiful afternoon for baseball, much cooler than it was yesterday. Nelson Briles, who went to Santa Clara University, to get a good look at his style. Primarily a fastball pitcher, a sinker ball fastball. Became a starting pitcher only through the accident to Bob Gibson last July. That was on July 21st. He became the starter after Gibson had suffered a broken leg on July the 15th. And now he has become their number 2 pitcher, as he won 19 and lost 11 this past season with an earned run average of 2.80. Here's Dick McAuliffe, the fine second baseman of the Detroit Tigers. Hit .249 during the season with 16 home runs. A very aggressive leadoff man with a peculiar batting style that I know Tiger fans are very, very familiar with. There's a good shot, and you'll really appreciate his stance. The first pitch of the second game of the World Series is about to be thrown. And it's an off-speed curveball, a little bit low and inside. Now, there's a unusual opening pitch of a ball game, an off-speed curve. McAuliffe, good power. Fastball misses low. Briles is the type of pitcher who gives up a lot of hits. He allowed 251 hits and 244 innings this past season. Hot smash, but right at Cepeda. McAuliffe hit the ball very hard, but directly at Cepeda, and there's one away. McAuliffe ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Ahead of the pitcher, got a good pitch to hit, and hit it very hard, but right at Cepeda. That will bring up Mickey Stanley, the only man yesterday who had 2 hits. The Tiger shortstop. The only Tiger with 2 hits, Mike Shannon, the Cardinals had 2 for the Redbirds. Stanley. Fastball is in there for a strike ball. There's Wally Moses coaching at first base. And Tony Cuccinello at third for the Tigers. 1 strike, no ball. Fastball low outside. Third.
You put their years of experience in baseball together, you'd have something, wouldn't you?
Yes, and Moses is a great outfielder, and Cuccinello a fine infielder. Moses a tremendous teacher of hitting. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mickey Stanley. The fastball is in there. Strike 2 is called. Stanley, and I know he credits Wally Moses, improved his average 49 points over last season. And had a great month of September. 2 strikes and a ball on the right-handed batter. The defense is straight away. There's a fly ball, Davis in right field. 2 gone. Stanley flies to Davis in right. 2 up, 2 down. And one of the great stars now of baseball, Al Kaline. Played over 2,000 games in the Detroit uniform. The all-time Detroit home run leader. He had the best batting average of 287 this past season. Kaline had 1 hit yesterday, a double. Gave the Tigers a scoring chance. The curveball low and outside. Kaline, one of those rare ball players that doesn't know what it is to ever have a minor league uniform on. The curve in there. A sharp breaking curveball. There's the pitch, Kurt, that Briles has trouble with. If his curveball isn't breaking, he usually is hit hard.
Well, we'll see how he goes then, Harry.
1 ball, 1 strike. The fastball is in there. 2 strikes and a ball. Briles appeared in 2 games in last year's World Series. Won 1 game, relieved in another. Kaline had a good cut of the breaking ball that time, which Riles hung. Got away with the pitch as Kaline fouled it into the stand. 2 strikes and a ball. Riles, born in Doris, California, now lives in Carmichael, California. 4th season with the Cardinals. Ground ball to short. Maxville throws him out. So it's 1, 2, 3, nothing across. We're going to the bottom half of the first inning with no score.
Just look what Plymouth up to now.
The all-new Plymouth Fury for 1969. So big, so beautiful, so fresh in design, it's hard to believe this is a popular priced car. Fury has more comfort, more roominess, more luxury, and behind the wheel, more excitement.
Just look what Plymouth up to now.
The 1969 Plymouth Valiant, built to Chrysler standards of 6-passenger roominess and comfort. The Honest Compact. Fury, Valiant, Barracuda, and Belvedere at your Plymouth dealers.
We go to the bottom of the first, and we get our first look at Mickey Lolich, who won 17 and lost 9 during the regular season. And he did some tremendous work in relief roles as well as starting. He's 28 years old. It was his 10th professional season. His earned run average this past year was 3.15. He is quick, he is competitive, and if he is right, he'll give anybody trouble. Just to give you an idea about Lolich's consistency, in 5 American League seasons, he's won 18, 15, 14, 14, 17. Lou Brock, a popular favorite, of course, in St. Louis, had the only home run of the World Series yesterday. Leads off. Southpaw Mickey Lolich. His first pitch. Swung and he missed. Looked like a curveball. Brock had 1 out of 4 yesterday. In his 3rd World Series. Good fastball. Strike 2. He buzzed that one in there. He's quick. Now he's shown us 2 pitches. One was a sharp breaking curveball for a strike swinging. The other one a blinding fastball taken for strike 2. Swung late. Almost had the ball by him. Fouled it outside 3rd. Kurt?
Harry, he's even faster than he looks in the stands in the press box. He's one of those sneaky, quick pitchers that ball's right in on you before you know it. And he can change during a game. He'll change from a fastball pitcher to a breaking ball pitcher, maybe back again. He changes all during the game.
A good-looking young man. Fires. Struck him out. And boy, that's as good a curveball as you'll ever see. Caught the outside corner. Brock called out on strike. Julian Javier, who drove in 2 runs with a base hit yesterday in the 3-run inning that the Cardinals had against Denny McClain. In World Series play, Javier has been particularly outstanding with an average of .351. Now here's a fellow who, if he could bat against left-handers all the time, there's a wild one back to the screen. Javier hits left-handers much, much better than he does right-handers. There you see Dick Sisler coaching in first base for St. Louis. Joe Schultz, who it is reported will be the manager of the Seattle team of the American League. But that announcement will be made following the series. Javier waiting. Bouncing ball, base hit left field. Javier bounces a single to left. Don Wirth, the third baseman, had no chance at all. Here's Kurt Flood. Flood 1 out of 4 yesterday. The premier defensive center fielder in the National League. He's in his 3rd World Series, too. He's the only 300 hitter in the lineup for either team. Javier is tying his shoelace. Could that be a tip-off that he might run? The Cardinals stole 3 bases yesterday. They like to move. Love the batter. Likes to hit the ball to the opposite field. Good curveball hitter. Fastball a little bit inside. Lolich has a whip to his fastball that there is no mistaking. Nothing bothers this fella. He's quite a young man. Javier leads. Started a swing, but he held up. Jim Honachek of the American League behind the plate. Flood looking at his coach, Joe Schultz. 2 balls, no strikes. The Cardinals frequently hit and run in this situation. It's high, ball 3. And a murmur now, a reaction through the crowd as they visualize possibly a good first inning. With 1 out, Javier is single to left, and Flood is out in front of Lolich. 3 balls, no strikes. When Flood started in the major leagues, he couldn't throw a ball to right field. Then he mastered the inside-out stroke. Ball is high. And the Cardinals threaten him the very first inning. Runners at first and second and 1 out. Lolich during the season walked 65 in 220 innings, had 197 strikeouts, averaging 2.7 walks per game. Orlando Cepeda, in his 3rd World Series, 2nd as a member of the Cardinals. Joe Sparma, a right-hander, is getting ready in the Detroit bullpen. Cepeda's never had a good World Series. He was hit with some 4 tries yesterday. High fastball. His composite average in World Series play is 115. Great power to all fields. Curve of beauty in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cepeda had an off season, hitting .248. Had just 16 homers. But that led the Cardinal team. High fly ball. In the right field corner, Kaline on the dead run. Fine play by Kaline. He held that ball, made a one-handed stab, and then braced himself with his bare hand as he hit the wall.
Harry, he's one of the best at going into that right field corner. Time after time, I've seen him crash in the stands. Here's a slow motion. Watch him now. He was playing Cepeda over in right center, coming at full speed. You see him take that quick look to see where he was to the stand. Makes the one-handed stab right there in the normal season bullpen. and then breaks himself with both hands. But going in that corner on slice drives, there's been few better in the American League than Al Kaline defensively.
So a fine defensive play. They're 2 away. Caught that in the Cardinal bullpen. That is the bullpen during the regular season. During the series, they're out in the runways beyond the wall. Here's Mike Shannon, who started the scoring yesterday and led the Cardinal team during the season with runs batted in. Lolich, he batted in 79, hit 15 homers during the regular season. The curve in there. For Mike Shannon, it's his 3rd World Series. With the exception of Ron Davis, all the Cardinals playing today have been in World Series competition. Ron Davis was acquired from Houston during the season. Shannon had a cut, and it looked like it went around with one hand as if his wrist might be bothering him. I notice most of the ball players now wear gloves when they're batting. The old-timers scoff at that. 2 strikes, no ball. Each of the 2 previous World Series that Shannon was in, he hit a home run. Line drive, Kaline on the run is there. One hand's the ball. And that takes care of the Cardinals with no runs. 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. So at the end of the first inning, Detroit nothing, St. Louis nothing.
Want to buy a horse? Get a Commerce Boots and Saddle loan. Paul got a Boots and Saddle loan from the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce and bought 50 horses. Elizabeth got a Commerce Boots and Saddle loan and bought 16 horses. Claude got a Commerce Boots and Saddle loan and built a horse. You already have some horsepower? Get something for it to pull. Whatever you want, get it with a bank plan loan from the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. You'll find it easy to arrange. Just talk to the people at the Commerce.
Let's pitch one quickly now to Tony Kubek.
Our host here, Harry, for the World Series in St. Louis, Mr. August Busch Jr. Mr. Busch, you must be happy about yesterday.
I couldn't be happier. To me, yesterday's game was one of the greatest I've ever witnessed in my life.
Sir, you've been a gracious host. Thank you so much. Now let's go back upstairs.
Norm Cash leads it off for the Tigers. Swings and pops up. Foul territory, Mike Shannon. He's got it. Cash fouls to Shannon. This game is authorized under television rights granted by Major League Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Here's Willie Horton, a big man in that Tiger lineup. He hit 36 homers during the regular season, drove in 85 runs, batted .285. This, like for all the Tigers with the exception of Norm Cash, is his first World Series. There she goes, way back. It might be out of here. It's home run. Holy cow, did he give that ball a ride? That didn't go off the bat. It absolutely exploded. And is he a happy young man? Greetings and felicitations from the Detroit Tigers. And just like that, the Tiger power has shown itself.
This is their ball game, the long ball. When they get the home runs, that's when they've been a club to beat in the American League.
Now Jim Northrup takes a curveball in there for a strike call. Northrup was hitless yesterday. Briles allowed 18 homers during the regular season, led the Cardinal staff. Northrup is out of the way. Last year against Reggie Smith, first game that Briles pitched in, he scored a 5-2 victory, but Reggie Smith hit a homer off of that day. Jim Northrup takes it high. Jim had his best American League season, even though his average dropped a few points. He hit 263. His home runs increased to 21, and he drove in 90 runs. Third in the league in that department. Fine, powerful left-hand hitter. High pop fly on the infield. Maxwell is the shortstop waiting. 2 away, here's Bill Freehand. Willie Horton, a tremendous home run high into the left center field bleachers. Where would that ball have gone in Detroit Stadium, Kurt?
I've been in the upper deck, in left center, and Horton's hit him well back up there in that upper deck in left field.
Bill Freehand, right-handed batter. There's a curveball that misses outside.
Wouldn't have missed too far from being up on the roof.
He really poked it. The curve is a beauty. So far, with these early pitches, Briles' curveball seems to be breaking better, is more effective than his fastball. 1-0 Detroit. Now each team is at a home run. Each left fielder. Horton for the Tigers, Brock yesterday for the Cardinals. 2 balls and a strike. Briles, as you can tell, is stockily built. Played football as well as baseball. Just 25 years old. 5'11", 205 pounds. He didn't mean to swing that time, but the ball hit his back. Foul. Briles attended Santa Clara University, also Chico State College. He's a linguist, speaks several languages. He's an entertainer, plays several instruments. Struck him out. Fastball got the outside corner. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. At the end of an inning and a half, Detroit won, St. Louis nothing.
Upstairs go. Upstairs go. Firing. 150.
Ship ahoy. You've got Dodge Fever. Man that Monaco. Design 69.
Take a long, slow look. Luxury line of comfort on a 122-inch wheelbase to give you a big car ride at a popular price. Under the hood, there's engine room for up to 440 cubic inches. New Superlight makes night driving super safe. Concealed windshield wipers keep the lines clean as a clipper ship. Inside, you're in command, in first-class comfort.
Dodge is turning up the fever now. Get your cheer for a new Dodge Fever now. Dodge Fever at your Dodge dealers.
The second game of the 1968 World Series is being brought to you live and in color from Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, exclusively on NBC, where America watches more sports than on any other network. We saw a tiger and a redbird that time. And we're seeing him here now, too, with Mickey Lolich, the tiger, facing Tim McCarver, the redbird. He's got a chance to beat it out. Out on a good play. Bill Freehand made a fine play. Scooped that ball up and rifled down to Cash, and McCarver was out on a bang-bang play.
Harry, yesterday, Freehand seemed to be a little anxious, trying to hurry too much. He had marvelous poise on that bunt. He went out. Lolich got out of his way. Grant took his time and really had something on that throw. A fine defensive play by a catcher.
Here's Ron Davis, who had the thrill of a lifetime. He was traded by Houston to the Cardinals, and he never could quite get over it all year long. Because here he is now in the World Series. Get a full cut of it. And playing now, right-handed batter. Strike over the outside corner. He's born in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Lives now in Portsmouth, Virginia. Ron Davis. Curveball is low. Davis hit 203, had only one homer, 17 runs batted in. The Cardinals had good success against left-handers, winning 35, losing 12. Bouncing foul. 2 strikes on the ball. 1 away. McCarver, I don't believe he attempted a bunt more than once or twice all season long. So it's a little bit surprising to see him try one. Got it out in front of the plate a little bit too much. And Freehand, pouncing on it like a cat, made a good play. When I say cat, I don't mean any play on words either. Strike, a fastball. He wanted a swing, but just couldn't pull the trigger. The ball was by him. Mickey Lolich has scored his second strikeout. Dow Maxfield, the shortstop, hit 252 last year, rather this past season. The best season he's had in the majors. Nothing out of 2 yesterday. Fastball high. He led the team in bases on balls this past season, 52, and it was apropos, therefore, that he started an inning that produced runs with a walk yesterday. Foul back, trying to hit the right field. It was Maxfield who walked to start the 3rd inning against McLean yesterday. He didn't score in that inning. But in the 4th, the Cardinals with 2 walks and 2 hits scored 3 runs. 1-1 pitch. Fastball a little high. Riles allowed, as I mentioned, 18 home runs during the regular season. Lolich allowed 23. High fly ball should be an easy play. Northrup goes back. Had it traveled deeper than it appeared when it left the bat, so the wind must be fairly strong up there. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. At the end of 2 innings, the Tigers won, the Cardinals nothing.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel confident. Stay dry with new Right Guard Antiperspirant, a completely new product from Right Guard. Right Guard Antiperspirant is a new defense against perspiration. It contains a tested agent that checks perspiration wetness. Feel confident. Stay dry. Get new Right Guard Antiperspirant in the silver can.
Take razor in right hand. Right hand. Now press button A.
You'd think to change your old Techmatic razor into our new adjustable Techmatic might be a big deal. But all you do is take out your old cartridge and put in our new one. It not only has all the advantages of the old Techmatic, but it now adjusts for a closer shave. You also get one other little satisfaction. You did it all yourself.
Now our man around the ballpark, Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Harry. Down here with Senator Eugene McCarthy. But more important than that, an ex-ball player. Senator, how are you viewing the series?
It's been a good series up to now. I think it'll be a good series all the way.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. It's kind of a pleasant change from politics. Not too different, but different enough to make for a change.
Who are you picking?
I don't want to pick anybody yet.
Thank you so much, Senator. Now let's go back upstairs.
All right, Tony, the first batter downward on the first pitch lifts a high pop fly that Javier drifts out into short right center for. Here's Mickey Lolich. He'll bat right-handed. He has tried switch hitting. His lifetime batting average is 113. He hit 114 this past season. So he improved his hitting. Like most pitchers, Lolich concentrates on winning ball games. Through his work on the mound, that's what he gets paid for. Started the swing. The count is even at 1-1.
Harry, we've got a fellow we're going to be watching in Detroit Saturday. When he comes to bat, though, it's a different matter. Earl Wilson. He's a real bomber up at that plate.
Yeah, he's a home run hitter, too. Lolich had a pretty good cut that time, but missed it. There you get a look into the bullpen. The St. Louis Cardinals bullpen. There's a souvenir for somebody up here. Another capacity crowd on a much cooler day. Mickey Lolich. 2 strikes and a ball. A little bit inside. Count is even at 2-2. Lolich had 3 hits and 70 times at bat. 8 hits rather than 70 times at bat. Drove in 3 runs this past season. There's a long fly ball. Way back. It might be out of here. Home run! Holy cow! How about that one? Mickey Lolich, with one of the lowest lifetime batting averages in Major League history, has just hit one out of the ballpark. You know, when he got to first base, it looked like he couldn't believe it was going to come back to the plate.
Watch this in this dugout now.
Look at the grin. That's what makes baseball the fascinating, unpredictable game it is. You never know from what source. There's Denny McClain. He can't believe it.
Lolich is probably saying nothing to it.
They didn't dare give him the silent treatment as they do sometimes to rib a guy. Dick McAuliffe. Now, if he hit one out, it wouldn't surprise anybody. Detroit out in front on home runs, 2-0. Bouncing ball, Javier. Throwing in time. Here's Mickey Stanley, the shortstop. Certainly that was Lolich's Mayo Smith, the fine manager of the Tigers. In last year's World Series, 2 pitchers hit home runs. Jose Santiago of the Red Sox and Bob Gibson of the Cardinals. That has to be Lolich's first. Slow dribbler might beat it out. Shannon can't make a play, and Mickey Stanley has an infield hit. Shannon, for a converted outfielder, has become quite outstanding on that play. But in this case, playing Stanley back with 2 outs, a swinging bunt, as it were, swinging from the heels and dribbling it slowly. There was no play at all, and wisely he held the ball rather than risk a wild throw. Al Kaline bounced out his first time at bat. Kaline bunts, foul. 1 strike and no ball. Mickey Lolich will be telling his grandchildren years from now all about that tremendous home run he hit. And with every telling, it will increase by 100 feet or so.
10 years from now, it'll be over the Gateway Arch.
Well, we saw a pitcher make history yesterday, Bob Gibson, with 17 strikeouts. And we saw history made by Lolich so far as his career is concerned today. Al Kaline. Fastball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't imagine Nelson Briles felt too badly about Horton hitting a homer, because Horton will hit homers against anybody, anywhere, anytime. But I don't think he's too happy about Lolich hitting one, the Tiger pitcher. You sure never know what's going to happen in a ball game. High fastball. Stanley gave it a fake down there at first base, as if he were breaking. Two balls and a strike. Two out. Tigers out in front, 2-0. Barely missed. And McCarver wants to talk to Bryle. K-line, the Tigers' leading hitter during the season, batting .287. Described down through the years as the perfect ball player. Could do everything exceptionally. There goes the runner. Fouled out of play.
The Tigers put on the hit and run, Harry. It'll be Stanley and K-line, their chief men. They both hit well behind the runner to right field.
Al K-line waiting. Stanley has good speed. A full count here. He'll be going now with 2 out. There he goes. Swung and a high pop foul. McCarver may have a play. He does. That retires the side. So it is 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go into the bottom of the 3rd. Detroit 2, St. Louis nothing.
Just look what Plymouth's up to now.
Meet the beautiful 1969 GTX, one of the exciting Plymouth Belvedere line that includes Roadrunner and Sports Satellite. GTX is all sport, all luxury and comfort. From any angle, GTX is a great-looking performance car at a down-to-earth price.
Just look what Plymouth's up to now.
The sporty Plymouth Barracuda has a look and a personality all its own. A personality you can mold to match your own with a list of options as long as your arm. Fury, Valiant, Barracuda, and Belvedere at your Plymouth dealers.
NBC truly is the World Series network. Not only will we continue to bring you this annual baseball classic, but on January the 12th, 1969, we'll bring you the World Series of Professional Football, the Super Bowl. Then in March, the NCAA Basketball Championships, the World Series of College Basketball, and then again next year, the World Series of Golf. All on the World Series Network, NBC. Cardinals trailing 2-0. Nelson Briles, the batter. Count strike 2 now. His lifetime batting average is 127 with no home runs. But don't let that throw you. He might hit one out, too. The odds are only about 18 million to 1 on it, but fastball outside. Yesterday, the attendance was 54,692, and so is it today. That, of course, is all they can get in here. Struck him out. A good fastball. Number 3 for Mickey Lolich. Here's Lou Brock. Baseball men, in describing the Cardinals, tell you that if you can keep Brock off base, you can beat him. But that's easier said than done. Swung and he missed. Brock each year leads the Cardinal batters in strikeouts. Right. And Lolich with a fine fastball is master so far. He's fanned 3, he's walked 1, he's allowed 1 hit, a single by Javier. Don Word is playing shallow against the bunt. And he was going to try with 2 strikes. And boy, they had anticipated it. And he struck out as he tried to bunt. Strikeout number 4. The position play in the World Series isn't by accident. These teams, it's become quite a science now to scout your opponent in every department. And they know everything about every player, including what they eat for breakfast and what they do in the evening. Javier takes a curveball outside. I don't think the FBI could do a more thorough job than baseball scouts do. Two men are out, nobody on. Detroit with home runs leads 2-0. Strike. Lolich has shown us, as Kurt had observed earlier, a fine live fastball and a good curveball. And he's had control. And when you add those ingredients, it means a pitcher who is tough to beat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good look at Javier. Sliced foul. That particular strike will indicate to you how quick Lolich is. The ball was to the inside part of the plate. Javier usually pulls, especially against a left-hander, and yet he couldn't get the bat around fast enough and hit it late towards right field foul. 2 strikes and a ball. Pass work. Stanley knocks the ball down. Javier's going to try for second. Safe. That was a ground ball to Wirt's left. It skipped under his glove. Stanley dived, and as he hit the ground, it seemed to jar the ball loose, and it rolled away from him. The scores haven't indicated yet. It is a base hit. That was a ground ball to Wirt's left. It skipped under his glove. Stanley dived, and as he hit the ground, it seemed to jar the ball loose, and it rolled away from him. The scores haven't indicated yet. It is a base hit. And an error on Stanley. A single and an error on Stanley. For kicking the ball away after he made a fine stop behind Wirt. So Flood will be the batter with a man in scoring position. 2 out. Flood walked his first time at bat. Good curveball.
You know, Harry, it looked like Stanley caught his spikes in the turf out there when he dived for that ball.
He actually made a fine stop, and it was hitting the ground to knock the ball out of his glove and away from him. Whoa, a beautiful change of pace, but just barely missed the strike zone. What deception he had on that one. You could see Flood doing a double take with the bat.
I think he was pleased with it, even with the ball.
Ground ball. Second baseman up, throwing. in time. McCullough, but good play to his right. He had him played perfectly. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. At the end of 3, Detroit 2, St. Louis nothing.
One of the world's great banks.
Who do you have now, Tony Kubek?
Harry Carey, one of the top sports announcers in the country, one of the top people, Joe Garagiola. Joe, the Tigers are showing what they're famous for, power right now.
Power and a left-handed pitcher who won't scare too easily. Tony, I'm pretty happy about a home run.
Joe Garagiola, thank you so much. Nice seeing you again.
Nice to see you. Nice to be with a good hitter.
Thank you. Oh, let's go back upstairs.
With Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek, this is Harry Carey. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. Tigers are leading. Norm Cash, a base hit on the very first pitch. A solid line drive in the right field. And now here's Willie Horton, who started it all today with a tremendous sky-scraping home run. I thought was going to hit the scoreboard and landed just below. In his last 5 years, that was an amazing statistic on your screen. He has hit 139 home runs. So you can emphasize that he is a home run hitter. One ball, no strikes. Top of the 4th, 2-0 Detroit. Cash, a lead. The fastball was high and tight. 2 balls, no strike. You know, Bryles, if you've noticed, we might call it to your attention, kicks off the mound in the fashion of Bob Gibson and is therefore not in position for balls hit back towards the mound. His momentum carries him to the first baseline. He isn't quite as quick in recovering his balance as Gibson is. High fly ball. Flood back. Near the wall, got it. That in Detroit would have been another home run. One away. I tell you, if the Tigers did have any first-game jitters, they're certainly not in evidence in the second game.
They look much more relaxed today. Easier, not as anxious up at the plate. Of course, Gibson would make anyone look anxious, but you can see the difference in them. They look much more relaxed, Harry.
Here's Jim Northrup. Popped up his first time, looking for his first World Series hit. Sky-scraping fly ball that Flood will have no trouble with. Northrup hit it very high, but not too far, and it's 2 away. Bill Freehan, the great Tiger catcher, looking for his first hit. The official scorers here today and through the series are Jack Herman of the St. Louis Globe Democrats, Watson Spolstra of the Detroit News, and George Cantor of the Detroit Free Press. Freehan takes the curve. Strike. Runner at first, 2 away. 2-0 Detroit. Home runs by Willie Horton and Mickey Lolich. Fastball wide. I guess they were dancing in the street in Washington, Michigan, where Lolich resides, born in Portland, Oregon. One pitch. Pop fly, short right. Davis coming over to the line, still running, and makes a fine running catch of a fair ball. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left. We go into the bottom of the 4th. Detroit 2, St. Louis nothing.
nervous. What if I got Dodge fever? Right in the middle of cutting this $2 million diamond.
Some things just can't wait, like the Dodge Dart Swinger 340. Young, new compact with a wild new personality. The size, style, and look say it all.
Please, I don't want to make a boo-boo.
With bumblebee stripes, dual exhaust, 4 on the floor, and a new high-performance hood. What gives the Swinger its swing? 340 cubes of V8.
Easy. Oh, no. Oh, boy, am I going to get yelled at.
Dodge Dart Swinger 340 for $1969. Dodge Fever. More distracting than ever.
Dodge is turning up the fever now.
After the series, Joe DiMaggio, one of the greatest outfielders in baseball history and now an executive of the Oakland Athletics, will make a 17-day tour of military hospitals in the Pacific, along with 3 active players, a trip arranged by Baseball Commissioner Eckert in cooperation with the Department of Defense and the USO. Outfielder Rick Monday of Oakland and relief pitchers Ronnie Klein of Pittsburgh and Ron Taylor of the Mets will accompany the former Yankee Clipper, the one and only great Joe DiMaggio. Cepeda leading off. Cardinals trail 2-0. Fastball low. Cepeda fouled out his first time as Al Kaline made a good play. High pop foul out of play. Hey, that's right beyond the commissioner's box there. Monty Irvin, who works out of the commissioner's office, sitting down there. One ball, one strike. Cepeda. Outside. Orlando will be 31 years old. A national hero in Puerto Rico, where they're watching NBC's World Series coverage right now. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Bottom of the 4th. Detroit leading 2-0. Willie Horton homered in the 2nd. Mickey Lolich hit one in the 3rd. That's the story in a nutshell if you're just joining us. Lolich, a very composed young man. Smash to the shortstop. Stanley throws to first for the out. That ball was hit very sharply. A low line drive, 1 hop. Here's Shannon. He flied out to right center to end the 1st inning. But the only time the Cardinals really had a chance, a single by Javier and a walk to Flood after Brock had been caught out on strikes, put 2 base runners on, but Cepeda and Shannon were retired. Fouls off the fastball. Lolich is doing it with the basics. Fine live fastball and a good sharp curve. Right. You could hear that one pop in the Freehan's glove. Mike Shannon, a native St. Louisan, great all-around athlete in high school and college. Didn't mean to swing, it was pulled. Slow dribbler, McAuliffe, good play. Shannon didn't want to swing. The ball hit his bat and trickled to McAuliffe. And McAuliffe very nimbly and gingerly raced in, picked the ball up, and flipped to first base. McCarver bunted in the 2nd inning, but was thrown out on a good play by Freehan. As you see, long sideburns are the vogue. Some of these athletes sure have more hair on their sideburns than we have on our heads. Carver looks like an old Mississippi riverboat gambler. The pride of Memphis, Tennessee. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two to nothing, Detroit. Jim attended Christian Brothers College in Memphis, also Memphis State. Hits a bouncing ball. McAuliffe in fast. Throws him out. And it's 1-2-3, nothing across. At the end of 4, it's still Detroit 2, St. Louis nothing.
We're about to take you on a voyage to a fantastic razor blade.
You've heard about the Gillette spoiler, haven't you? Well, if you'll come up to the edge with me, I'll show you why it spoils you. Baked onto the edge here is a miracle plastic coating that reduces the pull to a fraction. Every time you shave, you wear off a little of the coating. But after many shaves, the plastic film still covers the edge of the blade. The edge of cold steel doesn't touch your face.
Gillette Super Stainless.
Tony Kubek.
Yes, sir, Harry, we're down here with the mayor, Jerome Kavanaugh of the great city of Detroit. Mayor, this Tiger team has bounced back before. They're doing it again today.
Tony, I'm much happier today. I think it's going to go 5 games. Tigers probably in 5. No, seriously, Tigers look a great deal better, especially with Gibson not pitching.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll see you in Detroit. Let's go back upstairs.
There is Don Wirt, Detroit's third baseman, taking the first pitch in there for a strike call. Wirt had a base hit yesterday, 1 out of 2. Popped up his first time against Bryant. The curveball outside. 2-0, Tigers out in front. You know, Lolich, there's a curveball that missed. As indicative of how good he is when he's right. During the season, he pitched 8 complete games. 4 were shutouts and 4 one-run games. 3 of those shutouts were late in the season. And he is notoriously a great pitcher in the final stages of a campaign. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Into the dirt, all 3. The Tigers, while they would have naturally preferred to win every game, as the Cardinals do, I think their plan or their timetable was if they could break even here in St. Louis, they'd be in good shape going home. 3-2 pitch foul out of play. There's manager Red Chandies with his #1 lieutenant, third base coach Joe Schultz. Red, a great second baseman during his playing days. They call him Huck Finn. Freckle face, red hair, doesn't seem to have aged a day. Ball 4. We pause briefly for station identification. With Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek, this is Harry Carey at Bush Memorial Stadium, where the Tigers lead 2-0. We're in the top of the 5th. Don Wirt has just walked, and home run hitting Mickey Lolich is about it. He bunts. Cannon's got it barehanded, throws the second. Out on a close play.
They're really looking for the bunt on this one. Now watch it in slow-mo. Look where Shannon is, about 10 feet off the plate when he's fielding that bunt. A good throw. They knocked down that front man at second and put the pitcher on the bases and a slower runner than Wirth.
You know, Shannon has a powerful throwing arm, and that made the difference there. Now, there's a case of a perfect bunt by Lolich, but because of the defense, Shannon charging so, he turned a perfect bunt, which should have advanced the man, into a force out at second. Here's Dick McCullough. Bouncing ball. He's got a chance to beat it out. The pass. Save!
Riles couldn't quite recover after missing that ball as he went off the mound, and by the time he straightened up and perhaps was thinking a split second about missing a bounding ball, over to first base just a shade too late.
So now the Tigers already leading 2-0. Have runners at first and second with one out. McCarver walks out slowly to talk to Briles, which might indicate they want a little time to get their bullpen working. Mickey Stanley, who had 2 hits yesterday and 1 today, will be the batter. Runners at first and second. Tony Cuccinello yelling advice to Mickey Lolich, who's the runner at second base. Stanley digs in. And a fine season. Riles, fastball in there. I guess the best description of Mickey Stanley is that he's what they call a ball player's ball player. The ball players recognize his true worth better than anybody. Fouled it out of play, trying to go to the opposite field. And I guess that's one phase, Kurt, that he improved his hitting through the tutelage of Wally Moses. He's learned to hit the ball the other way.
Well, he took extra hours of batting practice. What he's also done, Harry, is he's willing to keep changing. He'll move around in that box, and as you say, he'll go with a pitch, but he's kept working at it. He never gave up on himself as a hitter.
He's in the hole, 2 strikes and nothing. Curve is low. The Tigers in a spot here in the 5th where they could add runs. The defense is straight away, maybe a shade towards right against Stanley. That evens it at 2-2. Al Kaline will be next. Mickey Stanley from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tigers have a lot of local boys, state of Michigan boys on the roster. 2-2 pitch. Fouled it out of play again. A beautiful afternoon in St. Louis. Cooler than it was yesterday, but delightful. Tomorrow's a day off for travel. World Series resumes in Detroit. Earl Wilson scheduled for the Tigers in the 3rd game against Ray Washburn of St. Louis, who earlier pitched a no-hitter. He struck him out. Got him on a high fastball. The 2nd strikeout for Briles. He got that one where he really needed it. Whether they're young or old or middle-aged, all enjoy the national pastime and the World Series classic above all. Here's Kaline. Al Kaline bounced to short in the first, fouled out the catcher in the third. Had a double yesterday. Ground ball to Shannon. Throws to second, force play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. At the end of 4.5 innings, the score, Detroit 2, St. Louis nothing.
Announcing your next car, the great new Chrysler. It can have a curved cockpit of glass and steel.
Your next car, your next car is here.
Your next car can give you sweeping visibility, more comfort, complete performance, and a joyous heart.
Chrysler, your next car is Chrysler.
Your next car is here, the great new Chrysler for 1969.
Your next car is here today. Chrysler.
We're going into the bottom half of the 5th inning. Detroit leading the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0. And now moving in to give you all the play-by-play of the last part of the ball game. One of the great sports announcers of the nation, NBC's voice of sports, Kurt Gowdy.
Thank you, Harry Carey. We want to remind you sports fans that golf action picks up on NBC early next month with the Hawaiian Open. Then in February, Mr. Bob Hope and his Desert Classic. The best in golf, where you find the best in all sports on NBC. The bottom third of the Cardinal order in the last of the 5th inning. Ron Davis took a called third strike his first time. He had to skip rope on that one. Lolich has had that sinker ball going. All 3 outs of the 4th inning were ground balls by the Cardinals to the infield. The key so far for Lolich came on Kaline's running grab of Cepeda's foul ball in the 1st inning in the right field corner. Ball 2. At that time, the Cardinals had runners on 1st and 2nd, 1 out. And Kaline made the best defensive play of the game. That was out number 2, and then Lolich got Shannon on a fly to right center. The 2-0 pitch to Davis. Lolich is behind him, 3-0. And the Cardinal fans now start that rhythmic clapping. That's the Tiger bullpen in left center. They had action there in the 1st inning. Joe Sparma started to warm up, but since then it's been quiet. Three nothing pitch to Ron Davis. Right in there to him, 3-1 now. Al Maxville's on deck. Then the pitch of Briles. We'll see if the Cardinals make a move. The on-deck batter, Maxville. 3-1 delivery. Fly ball into deep left center. Willie Horton going back, shows Northrup, and in the warning path, it's Jim Northrup. Well, that's the longest one the Cardinals have hit today, but it's an out here. Tiger Stadium is a deeper center field. It's 440. The straightaway center in Detroit. But it is a better hitter's ballpark. Down the left field line, left center, and right field. Park's a little bit bigger. Al Maxville flied out to center his first time. A ball to him. Lolich keeps looking at the mound, as if there's something bothering him on his stride. He's a free spirit, this fella. 2-0. Now he looks at that mound again. And he starts to do some janitor work out there.
You know, Kurt, talking to Denny McLean, he said that Bob Gibson must have a size 28 foot. He said that's how deep was the hole that his front foot dug into that mound, and when McLean would come off, it would bother him hitting that deep hole.
I want to say something about Denny McLean. I've never heard a loser more gracious than he was yesterday, the way he praised Bob Gibson. He made a lot of friends winning 31 games and made even more. The type of loser he was. In there with a fastball, 2-1. He was a real pro.
Mounds all have a different feel, even though they're all just about the same. There's just something about the texture or the level.
The 2-1 pitch is hit hard to short. Stanley up with it, whips the throw over, and they're 2 down. And if this intense pressure that they were supposed to be putting on Stanley has bothered him, he hasn't shown at a shortstop or at the plate. He's played a very cool series so far. And that ball, you know, might have handcuffed even a fellow used to shortstop, but you saw him with a poise, take his time, and make the good throw to first. Well, with 2 down, nobody on, Bryles is hitting now. Bryles struck out his first time. There's that fastball in there for a strike. Lolich roars into Tiger Stadium on his motorcycle and roars out again. He has 5 motorcycles at home. Curveball, foul back. 0-2. He likes speed. Today he has it on his fastball. Tigers are leading 2-0 last of the 5th. Struck him out on that sweeping curve. Another 1-2-3 inning for Lolich. And at the end of 5, it is still the Tigers 2 and the Cardinals 0.
Once you get off the beaten track, weekend driving can be fun. Though sometimes the unexpected can happen, especially when your wife is with you. The chair that looked just like it matched Granny's set didn't, of course. But it's astonishing the number of things she's always wanted. She's never mentioned till now. That's when it's nice to have cash on hand at the Commerce. Cash for spending, cash for saving. The Commerce checking account plus savings account gives you the best of both worlds. Lets a man be his own master. Yes, sir. Weekend drivers sometimes get an unexpected bonus, especially when they keep cash on hand. Keep cash on hand at the Commerce.
We pause now for station. This is the CBC Television Network.
That's on Saturday. It's going to be an hour earlier. It'll start at 12:30 Eastern Time, just before the 3rd game of the 1968 series. There's Mr. Joe Cronin and his wife Mildred. Joe, the president of the American League. Well, right now, his league's out in front. And he, like everyone else in this park yesterday, praised Bob Gibson. In the 6th inning, the Tigers will have Cash, Horton, and Northrup up against Bryles. Here's the way the scoring has gone. If you've joined us late with 1 out in the 2nd, Willie Horton hit a tremendous home run into the left center field bleachers. And then with 1 out in the 3rd, Mickey Lolich hit his first Major League home run. And that's been it. It's Tigers 2 and the Cardinals 0. Cash fouled out in the 2nd and hit a hanging curve in the 4th, a single to right field, the first pitch to him. Cash had a hot second half of the season. He caught fire with that bat. The only starter for the Tigers who's had previous World Series experience. One ball and a strike. Fastball's over. 1-1. He usually pulls the ball. They're playing it way over to right field. Kurt Flood well in right center for him. There's a drive deep to right. Get a new ball out, Mr. Umpire. That one is gone. The third Tiger home run of the game. Well, the Tigers, who hit over twice as many homers as the Cardinals during the season, coming through with their power today. Yesterday it was the Cardinals' Bob Gibson and their speed. They stole 3 bases. And a different story this afternoon.
I'll say one thing. There was nothing cheap about that home run. That was high and far.
Willie Horton hit a home run to left center, and then a fly ball to deep center. On the foul of the plate, a strike 1 to Willie Horton. Most home runs allowed by a pitcher in a game has been 4. Charlie Root, Eugene Thompson, and Dick Hughes. Hughes last year. Riles has given up 3 homers. Ground ball in the hole. Good stab by Maxwell. The long throw, and he's safe. And the Cardinals arguing. Tim McCarver, number 15. Stan Landis called the play at first. Red Shandings was out there now. I think they're arguing about he didn't have control of the ball in his glove, Harry.
I believe that's what it was, Kurt, that umpire Landis thought that Cepeda juggled the ball on the heel of his glove, that he didn't have complete possession.
Red Shandings, the very mild-mannered man, right now is irked as he goes back to that Cardinal dugout. And here's Billy Muffett, the Cardinal pitching coach, coming out.
Usually when he comes out, it means the Cardinals are going to make a change. If it's merely to talk to the pitcher, manager Red Shandings goes out there, but if they are going to make a change, it's Muffett.
Right now, there's a break in the action here at St. Louis. The score, the Tigers 3 and the Cardinals nothing.
You see that statue? They picked me to bring it in. I handle my cranes with finesse. As long as I don't get Dodge fever, no sweat. Right?
Right. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it? 1969 Dodge Charger SE. Charger excitement in a stunning new special edition. Packed with extras that aren't extra on this one.
So far, so good.
In here, a world of vinyls and leathers and wood grain luxury. A new front grille just for looks, and an optional 440 Magnum V8 just for kids.
Easy. Oh, no.
Charger's special edition for 1969. It's why Dodge Fever is more smashing than ever.
Dodge is turning up the fever now.
The Cardinals' young left-hander, Steve Carlton, is moving in. He relieved only once during the season. Harry Carey knows him well and will tell you all about him.
He's a youngster who's a fastball pitcher and has a good curve. He started the season well. On June the 4th, he had a mark of 7 victories and 1 defeat. But from there on out, he had a lot of trouble. He pitched 5 ball games but couldn't win. He's overpowering when he's right. He's just 24 years old. He's from Miami, Florida. And so the Cardinals have their first pitching change of the series.
All right, now let's quickly go down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Kurt and Harry. We're talking to the man who last year was in the same shoes as Mayo Smith of the Tigers the manager of the Red Sox, Dick Williams. Dick, the Tigers are coming back.
Well, I think they might have been a little nervous, plus the great pitching by Gibson. We saw him 3 times last year, and he threw great against us, but not 17 strikeouts worth like he did yesterday. He was magnificent.
Dick, you've seen this Tiger ball club all this year and last year, and their forte, their main strength is power. They've shown that today, haven't they?
Well, they've out-homered the Cardinals, I think, by over 100 home runs. They led our league in home runs, and anybody in the lineup can hit one out of the ballpark. And 3 runs, 3 home runs today, it tells their story.
Dick, last year you had scouting reports, of course, the same as Mayo Smith did this year. If you were in Mayo Smith's shoes again right now, what would you tell them about the Cardinals? What would you say to do? What is their vulnerable point, if there are any?
Well, hope you don't have to face Gibson 3 times and try to keep Flood and Brock off base. We couldn't last year, and, well, we took them to 7 games, but they still beat us.
Dick Williams, thank you. Now let's go on back upstairs.
All right, Steve Carlton to Jim Northrup, who hammers a ball through the middle into center. Horton stops at second, and Northrup's on first. 3 hits in a row for the Tigers here in the 6th. And Northrop didn't waste any time against the left-hander. Bill Freehand has struck out and flied out. The Tigers now have 8 hits, and the Cardinals 2. Freehand looking for his first hit of the series. Ball 1 to him. Runners on first and second, nobody out in the 6th. Steve Carlton, 23 years old, born in Miami, lives now in North Miami, Florida. Strike, 1-1. Willie Horton at second, Jim Northrop at first. Sharp curve. That's Freehand couldn't get. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Don Wirtz on deck. Top of the 6th inning, the Tigers ahead, 3-0. The low pitch makes the count 2-2. Freehand's usually tough against left-handers. Now Carlton with his 2-2 delivery. 3-2, missing low and inside. Nelson Browse pitched 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, walked 1, struck out 2. Horton, the lead runner, at second. Northrop's at first. Northrop will have a big lead with Cepeda playing deep off the bag. Foul back. Sometimes this year, when a left-hander went, Freehand moved to first base with Jim Price going behind the plate. So they tried to keep Freehand's right-handed bat in there all the time. 3-2 pitch again. Foul ball back. This is Carlton's 5th professional season. Been with the Cardinal organization all the way. And the 3-2 pitch. Foul back. 3 in a row. Freehand is foul back. The outfield is deep and straight away for him. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. And the 3-2 pitch. Popped up. The infield fly rule is called. The batter's automatically out. Runners advance at their own risk. One away. Don Wirtz, batting number 8 in the Tiger lineup, has popped up and walked. He hit for a low batting average this year, but he still came up with some key hits. Hard to explain how a fella can drop off sometimes 40 or 50 points. 5 years in a row, he hit between 260 and 268. Then suddenly, boom, he's all the way down to 200. 1 ball, no strikes to him.
There comes that year, Kurt, when those line drives go at somebody rather than between them.
1 away, runners on first and second. Carlton's over with a fastball, 1-1. Willie Horton at second. Jim Northrop's at first. They're playing Wirtz to the opposite field. Fouls it back. Kurt Flood 2 or 3 steps in the right center. And Ron Davis is over toward the right field line. Right now, Steve Carlton has word in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. You notice that protector, not only the batting helmet, but down the flap over his left ear. See quite a few of the ball players at the plate wearing protector now. Changeup is high, 3-2. They're required to wear the batting helmet, but the side flap is to their decision. 1 out, 3-2 to Wirtz. And the bases are loaded as the home run king, Mickey Lolich, comes up. Lolich hit a home run in the third and grounded into a fourth play on a bunt in the fifth.
You know, Kurt, how much a part of this game pitching really is. Yesterday, it was all Cardinals because Gibson was superb on the mound. Today, it's been all the Detroit Tigers with Lolich being most effective.
1 out, the bases loaded. The Tigers leading 3-0 in the 6th inning. Fastball for a strike. Horton's at third. Northrop's at second. Wirtz at first. The infield shallow at first and third, and they're in just a couple of steps at short and second. Curve is over. Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Lolich. One and 2. Well, despite that home run, Harry, the outfield is still not too deep for him. One ball, 2 strikes. Struck him out on a fastball. That makes it 2 down. Brings up the top of the Tiger batting order and Dick McCullough. He's grounded out twice and had an infield hit. Now the Cardinals back up in the infield for the big out. McCullough's really aggressive at the plate. He led the American League in runs scored. Good curve. 0-1 to Dick McAuliffe. Three men on, 2 down. And the 1-strike pitch. High this time, 1-1. The breeze, we'll mention it again, is blowing from first to third. And sometimes from home plate toward second. And it's a fairly stiff one. Balls hit in the air toward left center and left field today have been given a boost. Foul back, 1-2. McAuliffe, and with 2 down, of course, doesn't matter, but he's had one distinction this year. The second player in Major League history who did not ground into one forced double play during a year, the whole season. A 1-2 pitch. There's a smash to right, to center coming on a flood, and he can't handle the ball. 2 runs are in. The throw to the plate and down to second on the throw goes Dick McAuliffe. The usually sure-fisted Kurt Flood coming on, a low line drive, but he got his glove on it.
Let's watch it in slow motion, Kurt. Take a good look at that, because anything Flood gets his glove on, he usually holds. Not this time. They ruled it a base hit.
A base hit has been scored for McAuliffe. He'll get credit for 2 RBIs. Don Wirtz at third. On the throw-in, McAuliffe went down to second. And Mickey Stanley takes ball 1. So the Tigers lead now 5-0. Ball was hit hard and was sinking as Flood came on for it. Inside to him, 2-0. K-line on deck. The Tigers now have out-hit the Cardinals 9-2. And Al K-line. The 2-0 pitch. A drive into right center. Ron Davis going over. He's there for the 3rd out. But more damage by the Tigers. They had 3 runs, 4 hits. There were no errors and 2 left. At the end of 5.5, it's the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals nothing.
If you've been looking for a lime shaving cream that's not too sweet, Gillette Foamy has what you've been looking for. Because Gillette Foamy has this. The lemon lime. It's part lemon, part lime. The essence of the lemon keeps the tang in the lime. And that keeps this shaving cream from smelling too sweet. Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Wait till your face gets a taste of it.
Introducing the sporty new 1969 Gillette Techmatic Razor. The fabulous razor band and the dramatically light touch are still standard equipment. But this year's model has one bold new feature. A little dial you can adjust to give yourself a closer shave. We call it the adjustable Gillette Techmatic.
This Sunday, we'll bring an outstanding sports doubleheader your way at 12:30 Eastern Time, the World Series, and then American Football League action, 3 regional telecasts, Boston and Oakland, Miami at Houston, and Cincinnati at Denver. Incidentally, on Sunday, it's scheduled again, Gibson against McLean. Lou Brock has been handcuffed so far by Mickey Lolich. He has struck out twice. First pitch to him with the ball. This is the top of the Cardinal batting order. Brock, Javier, and Flood. Outside to him, ball 2. 5 runs, 9 hits for the Tigers. No runs, 2 hits for the Cardinals. Lolich has struck out 5 so far. 3-0. There are players built for speed as Brock. He just looks like a whippet. That lean body. A 3-0 pitch. He's on. That's the second walk given up by Lolich. And now Javier's up. Javier's had 2 hits. Single to left and an infield hit. And he's been on base now 4 times and 6 times up in the first 2 games.
Curdy's especially effective against the left-handers I mentioned earlier, but I just want to call your attention to Brock. The score situation of a game doesn't affect his base running. Seen him steal when you're 4 or 5 runs behind just as easily as when the game is close.
All right, the Cardinals are runner on first. Nobody out. Brock going. Ball gets high. Brock's the second. He thought the ball had been fouled back. He started back to first.
Kurt, that could have been the strangest play in the history of baseball. He broke with the pitch. Naturally, he was concentrating on second base. Didn't know that the ball had gotten by freehand, and when he got to second base, I think McAuliffe and or Stanley or both kind of decoyed him into thinking the ball had been foul tipped, and he actually started to go back towards first base. Wouldn't have been something if he had gone back to first.
That would have been a rerun, wouldn't it? On the rerun. He didn't know the ball had gone back to the screener. He might have tried to go over to third. So Brock on second. He gets credit for a stolen base. Stole a base yesterday. Javier running up on the pitch. It's high to him for ball 2. I believe the Tigers now have started some action in their bullpen. Lolich had retired 7 in a row until Brock led off with a walk here in the last of the 6th inning. Tigers are leading 5-0. The 2-0 pitch, right in there to him for a strike. 2-1. Javier hit over 360 in the World Series last year, and he's starting out this one in that same 300 fashion. Brock and Javier were the leading Cardinal batters last year against the Red Sox. 2-1's the count. Now it's 2-2. The home fans doing some umpiring. Brock at second, nobody out. Bright sunny day. The overcast is completely gone, but it's cooler today than yesterday. At game time, temperature was 60 degrees. I got in trouble yesterday. I guess I said it was humid here yesterday, and a couple of local disc jockeys thought I was wrong. Wasn't it humid? I mean,
well, they were in their studios where it was air conditioned. It was mighty humid yesterday, Kurt.
The 2-2 pitch struck him out on a high fastball. Strikeout number 6 for Lolich. On the call of talking to his pitcher, Brock is still on second, 1 out. And Kurt Flood up. Evidently, Lolich likes the cool weather. He's been tremendous in September this year and last year. Like that tinge of coolness that we get in these autumn days, and it's cool here. It's perfect for him today. If he likes a little bit of coolness in the air. Curve is over to Flood. No balls, no 1 strike. Forgot to mention that Roger Maris hit 385 in the series last year. He's not in the lineup today. Chopper hits to Lolich, and he can't make a play. His feet gave way. Fast man going to first anyway. He very wisely held on to that ball. He could have thrown it away. It's an infield hit for Kurt Flood. The Cardinals have runners on first and third, one out. This is the first time they've had a man at third base in the game. And here's the cleanup batter, Orlando Cepeda. Foul out to K-line on a beautiful running catch in the first. Hit the ball hard, but right at the shortstop in the fourth. Cepeda now has been up 6 times without a hit. Base hits have been hard for him to come by in World Series play. They're deep and straight away for him. Ball one. The two Cardinals speedsters on the bases. Rock at third, Flood at first. One away. Cepeda walked right into that pitch. Took a little bit off. Right in there to him, 1-1. Rock at third, Flood at first. A count 1-1 to Cepeda. There's a little pop in the shallow left, going out of Stanley. It's in for a base hit. In the score is Rock. Over to third is Flood. Texas Leaguer dumped into left. Cepeda gets set up for a single and a run batted in. That ball either hit something or had so much spin it bounced backwards after it landed beyond the reach of Stanley. Well, the Cardinals are now on the scoreboard. It's 5-1 Tigers. And here's the leading RBI batter this year for the Cardinals, Mike Shannon. He's flying to right, he's grounded out. The last 2 hits by the Cardinals have been a couple of bloody blows. Infield hit by Flood and a little blooper by Cepeda, but they count. Well, they haven't exactly hammered Lolich around. One out, runners on first and third. 5-1 Tigers. Ground ball to Stanley. Good pickup. 1 over and 2. Mickey Stanley, a converted center fielder, starting a big double play for Lolich and the Tigers. In the 6th, 1 run for the Cardinals. 2 hits, there were no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6, it's the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 1. Where are you, Tony? Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Mr. Craig Smith, Alexis Smith, Craig Stevens.
Right.
How are you enjoying the game?
Wonderful. Fascinating game today. Having a wonderful time.
Alexis, nice to see you.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here. Very exciting.
Thank you so much. Let's go on back upstairs.
Al K-Line leading off. K-Line fouls it back. K-Line is grounded out, fouled out, hit into a force play. It's the heart of the Tiger batting order here in the 7th. K-Line, Cash, and Horton. Strike 2 to him. Ball hit sharply by the shortstop in the center field. The big turn he holds. That's 10 hits. Ball got away. And Carlton, the pitcher, had to come up with it. 10 hits for the Tigers now, 4 for the Cardinals. Norm Cash fouled out. Single to right, hit a home run in the right field seat. Pitch is high to him for a ball. Cash has been irked like a lot of players when he's been platooned. He wants to play all the time, and he feels he can hit left-handed. There's the move to first. The Peta had to come off the bag, holding the K line.
Kurt, that's one time when the first baseman got picked off and not the runner. So Peta was charging towards the plate, and Carlton fooled him with his move and almost hit him right in the face.
1 ball, no strikes to Norman Cash. Two and nothing. When you get to Tiger Stadium and you look at Cash, he's not overpowering in size, but he's hit a couple of balls over that right field roof there, as far as anyone. Fouls it back. And only a handful of players have ever done that in American League history. Al Kaline, an excellent base runner at first base. Nobody out in the 2-1 pitch coming on to Cash. Goes after the curve, and it's 2-2. Well, only in the first inning have the Tigers failed to hit. They went down 1-2-3 then. But since then, they're chipping away with base hits each inning. Foul back. Two and two count. There's a curveball hit back to the middle. Kaline is coming on to third. Cash is on first. The Tigers have runners on first and third. And Norm Cash now has had 3 hits in a row. Willie Horton hit a mammoth home run. Here's the pitching coach, Billy Muffett, coming out. Flied on the warning pass in the 4th in the deep left center and had an infield hit in the 6th. And Bill Muffett is calling for a new pitcher out of the Cardinal bullpen.
It's certainly a different ball game, Kurt. Yesterday, the Cardinals out in front all the way behind Gibson. Today, St. Louis hasn't been able to do too much right, and the Tigers can't make a mistake.
All right, Harry, and there's a break in the action here at St. Louis with the score. Detroit Tigers 5, the St. Louis Cardinals 1.
This bank began the year Canada began and grew along with Canada. All along the way, wherever history was being made, the commerce was there. Reliable, progressive, a real working bank. Serving the loggers, the miners, the oilmen. For example, the Commerce Oil Map in Calgary maintains an up-to-the-minute picture of who's drilling where, what's good, what's promising. An important service to customers at Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce.
Bank of Commerce, Bank of Commerce.
One of the world's great banks.
The mound, he pitched 1 inning, was tagged for 4 hits. 1 run has been charged to him, and he's responsible for Kaline at third and Cash on first. And coming on now is a right-hander, Ron Willis. who won 2 games and lost 3, led the Cardinals most appearances this year with 48. Remember Saturday, 2 right-handers going, Washburn for the Cardinals, Wilson for the Tigers. Game 3 at Tiger Stadium. Jim Simpson and Sandy Koufax will be bringing World Series report your way. That will start at 12:30 Eastern Time, an hour earlier than it has been today and yesterday, just before the 3rd game of the 1968 World Series. Ron Willis, 25 years old, born in New Bern, Tennessee, lives now in Memphis, the same home city as Tim McCarver. How's he been this year, Harry?
He's done well. He appeared in more games than anybody else. His record was only 2-3, but records for relief pitchers aren't as indicative as the games have been in, the innings they've pitched. He's a sinker baller, has a good curveball. He's a converted third baseman and outfielder. He was signed originally as a center fielder, and then they made a pitcher out of him in the Cardinal farm system. When he's effective, his sinker ball is the big pitch. And with Willie Horton coming up first, they want to keep the ball down and hope that Horton will hit it on the ground. They don't want him to get the ball up in the air because they're jumping out of here pretty good today.
At third base is Kaline. At first base is Cash. There's nobody out. Tigers trying to extend their lead to 5-1. First pitch is high and away from Willie Horton. Horton is so strong he can hit a bad pitch out of the ballpark. He'll hit him up around his eyes. He still goes chasing sometimes in the dirt for pitches. A 1-0 pitch. Outside to him again, ball 2. Two balls and no strikes. The outfield set deep, well over toward left. 3-0. The left-handed batter's on deck, Jim Northrup. Every man's hit safely in the Tiger lineup with the exceptions of Freehan and Wirtz so far. He walked him on 4 pitches. Tigers have the bases loaded, nobody out, and Jim Northrup. He was a Grand Slam kid this year. He led the major leagues in Grand Slams with 4, and he had 2 in 1 game against Cleveland on June 24th. He also hit another Grand Slammer that week, the only player who's ever hit 3 Grand Slam home runs in 1 week during a season. Now they're set up for him. Strike.
Kurt, some of the greatest of hitters have gone through their entire careers without hitting 3 Grand Slammers.
Ron Willis facing Jim Northrup. And he taps it back to the pitcher's leg, stepping on second. Max go over to first for a double play, and in the score is Kaline. Northrup does not get credit for a run batted in. So Kaline's run makes it now 6-1. They went right through the legs of Northrup, but very alertly Maxwell out of the bag at second. Comes up with a double play. Norm Cash is now third. 2 down. Bill Freehan has struck out, flied out, and popped up. Breaking pitch away from him, a ball. One nothing pitch. Curve is over, 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Low to him for a ball, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Low for 3-1 now. Donward is due up next if Freehan gets on. Tigers have 2 outs. Cash is at third. Three-one pitch to him. Going after that inside fastball, 3-2. Just got a piece of it. Freehan's been an Iron Man this year. As a catcher, he led the Tigers in games played. He gets hit a lot by pitchers. Set a new American League record this year. He was hit 24 times by pitch balls. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Struck him out on a curve, and that's all for the Tigers in the second. But they picked up another run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 6.5, it's the Tigers 6 and the Cardinals 1.
Dodge Fever saves the day. He's lost his head over Dodge Coronet.
Dodge Coronet, Design 69, proving it costs less than you'd think to go first class on a 117-inch wheelbase. Coronet, trim enough outside to handle quickly, easily, big enough inside to handle a crowd in comfort. 17 Coronets to choose from, including the Coronet Super B with 383 cubes of standard V8. A wild new way to get Dodge Fever.
Dodge is turning up the fever now. Get your cure for new Dodge Fever now.
Dodge Fever at your Dodge dealer.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is Kurt Gowdy with Harry Carey and Tony Kubek. The Tigers now have made some defensive moves. Roy Euler goes to shortstop. Mickey Stanley goes back to his regular center field position. Willie Horton is out of the game, and Jim Northrup moves from center field to left field. And Tim McCarver starts the last of the 7th for the Cardinals. No hits in 2 times, both times grounding out to the infield. Hard ground ball rammed to Dick McAuliffe. 1 away. McAuliffe has played a very steady second base today. Ron Davis has struck out and flied out.
Mickey Stanley certainly hasn't hurt the Tigers as a shortstop. Played well these 2 days.
Davis hits the fly ball out to Northrup and left. 2 down. You know, here we were talking about Northrup's grand slams. The National League all-time leader in grand slam home runs, Gil Hodges, the manager of the Mets, is watching this game in an Atlanta hospital, recovering from a heart attack, and we all wish him well and speedy recovery.
I should say we do. What a wonderful gentleman, a great baseball man.
Dal Maxville takes a strike. He's flied out and grounded out. Gil Hodges will be back heading the Mets in spring training next year. The 0-1 pitch is fouled into the seats down the right field line. Ed Spezio is out on deck, and he's going to bat for Ron Willis.
You know, Kurt, the close-ups that we've seen on Mickey Lolich, he doesn't look as if he's even broken a sweat.
No balls, 2 strikes. One and 2. There's a beautiful breaking pitch around the knees for strike 3. A very easy inning for Lolich. Cardinals are down in order, and at the end of 7, it's the Tigers 6 and the Cardinals 1.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel confident. Stay dry with new Right Guard Antiperspirant, a completely new product from Right Guard. Right Guard Antiperspirant is a new defense against perspiration. It contains a tested agent that checks perspiration wetness. Feel confident. Stay dry. Get new Right Guard Antiperspirant in the silver can.
10 more blades to go.
5 blades to go.
3. Just 3 blades to go. That's it. I used up all the old blades. Now I can use the new Gillette Super Stainless Steel blade with the miracle plastic coating on the edge. They say it's supposed to spoil you.
The spoiler.
We pause now for station identification. This is the CBC Television Network.
Once again, to his left, to his right, shortstop Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Kurt. We're down here talking to the commissioner's right-hand man, or one of them, Monty Irvin. Monty, congratulations on your new job.
Thanks so much, Tony. I'm really enjoying it.
How are you enjoying the series?
Just great. A lot of action today.
Of course, being in the commissioner's office, you have to be impartial, don't you? Being a national leaguer, you can't pick sides.
No, we're just rooting for good plays, and whoever wins, this doesn't matter, just as long as it's a good game.
Monty Irvin, thank you once again. Let's go on back upstairs right now.
Don Wirth will be starting it off for the Tigers in the 8th inning. Don has popped up, walked twice. Lolich will be up behind him, and then the top of the order, McCullough. And Willis is fastballs for a strike. Riles, Carlton, and Willis have worked today for the Cardinals. One and 1. Tigers had a home run by Horton in the 2nd, a home run by Lolich in the 3rd. They had 3 more in the 6th and another one in the 7th. Cardinals got their lone run in the 6th. Curve is outside to him. Ball 2, 2 and 1. Mayo Smith, criticized in some quarters, foul ball back, for starting Stanley as shortstop. The way Stanley has played, Smith looks like a genius.
It was a daring move, and it's paid off. At least it hasn't hurt.
Stanley started a big double play there in the 6th to get Lolich and the Tigers out of a jam. Ball 3, but now Stanley's back in center field. Quite a ball player, Harry, that can come from center field into shortstop and go back there again. That's very, very unusual.
Certainly shows a versatility which is not too common.
3 and 2 to Don Wirth. He's out. Willis' 2nd strikeout. Mickey Lolich. He should get a hand here for his fine pitching today, and he does. He has handcuffed the Cardinals so far. Lolich has hit a home run, hit into a forced play, and struck out. The strike. One out, nobody on. And there's his second hit. Lolich singles in the center. What a day he's having.
Let's check it. Are you sure this isn't his birthday today? He's celebrating something.
That's the 12th hit for the Tigers. The Cardinals have had 4. Dick McAuliffe, 2 hits and 4 times. We're at the top of the Tiger batting order now. The Tigers are ahead 6-1. Blown away to him. Ball 1 to Dick McAuliffe. Lives in Avon, Connecticut. Fastball is through. Strike 1. 1-1 to McAuliffe. Mickey Stanley on deck. A 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Remember, Saturday it's Ray Washburn, right-hander, going for the Cardinals, and Earl Wilson, a right-hander for the Tigers, with Gibson and McLean scheduled to come back against each other on Sunday. Undoubtedly Lolich for the Tigers on Monday. If they're there Monday. This one will tell it. 3-1. Probably Browse back again for the Cardinals, would you say, Harry?
That's his rotation in this series.
Three and one. Olive walks. The Tigers have runners on first and second. They've had a lot of base runners in this game. Mickey Stanley's coming up now. He's had 1 hit in 4 times. Playing Stanley straight away. Strike to him, 0-1. Crowd sitting back quietly. Their Cardinals are trailing by 5. Ground ball to second. Javier scooping to Maxwell for 1. Great relay by Maxwell to get the double play. No runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, 1 left. And at the end of 7.5, it's the Tigers 6 and the Cardinals 1.
Just look what Plymouth's up to now. Just look what Plymouth's up to now. Driving will never be the same again for you.
Introducing the 1969 Plymouths. Fury. This year it's a whole new car. Longer, wider, completely redesigned from rubber to roofline. Belvedere, our mid-size success car. 26 models, 18 colors, 76 interiors. Valiant, the compact that didn't get bigger, just better. Barracuda, 4 great engines, 3 great bodies, and a torsion bar suspension for true sports car handling. See what Plymouth's up to now at your Plymouth dealers.
Just look what Plymouth's up to now.
Last of the 8th inning, Gagliano is going to bat for Ron Willis, then Lou Brock and Javier. And the second game of the series being brought to you live and in color from Bush Memorial Stadium. Exclusively on NBC, where America watches more sports than on any other network. Phil Gagliano, who played American Legion ball with Tim McCarver, another Memphis boy. Going against Mickey Lolich. Gagliano hit .228 for the year. No homers, 13 runs batted in. Strike one. Mickey Lolich has been a superb left-handed starter today. He's allowed only 4 hits. They've all been singles. 2 of them infield hits. There's his breaking pitch for strike 2. He has walked 2. Mayo Smith, the Tiger manager, probably in the 8th inning today feeling much better than he did yesterday in the 8th inning. The 2-strike pitch. High with a fastball. Lolich has struck out 7. You know, he's right-handed. He writes right-handed, he eats right-handed, he does everything else except pitch. Right-handed. The 1-2 delivery. Let's see if Cash gets a play on this one. Can't quite. When he was a youngster, though, he fell off a motorcycle, injured himself. And while he was injured, he learned to write right-handed and to do everything right-handed. The Cardinals wish he were pitching right-handed.
Maybe right-handed, he'd have him shut out, though.
The 1-2 pitch. 2-2. He is shuttled in, Harry, the last couple of years in and out of the National Guard has hurt him. You know, he goes away on active duty, then comes back.
May have cost the Tigers the pennant last year.
The 2-2 pitch to Gagliano. Wide with that one. 3-2 now. These Cardinal fans are waiting for something to start here. Their team is trailing 6-1 in the last of the 8th. He is shuttled in, Harry, the last couple of years in and out of the National Guard has hurt him. You know, he goes away on active duty, then comes back.
May have cost the Tigers the pennant last year.
The 2-2 pitch to Gagliano. Wide with that one. 3-2 now. These Cardinal fans are waiting for something to start here. Their team is trailing 6-1 in the last of the 8th. Three and two count. Chopper hit the word at third. Strong, accurate throw. Word seldom throws the ball away. 1 down. Top of the order, and Lou Brock has struck out twice, has walked, he's stolen a base, and he has scored the Cardinals' only run. Lolich has had 2 good fielding plays behind him. In the first inning, a key play, Al Kaline galloping across the foul line to make a running catch of Cepeda's fly ball. It was foul, but it turned the first inning around. And then Stanley starting the important double play in the 6th. Strike to Lou Brock. Playing Brock to the opposite field. Outside to him, a ball, 1-1. One pitch. Ball to 2-1 to Lou Brock. 1 out, nobody on. Right back through the box. Base hit into center field. Let's see what Brock does. He attempted 7 steals in the World Series last year. Stole all 7. He's attempted 2 steals this year and has been successful. So he's 9 for 9 in stealing in the last 2 World Series.
And being behind 6-1 in the 8th won't make him hesitate if he thinks that he can get a jump on Lolich.
Julio Javier, single to left, had an infield hit and he struck out. You wouldn't think Brock could get this big a lead, Harry, on a left-hander, but he really walks off there against Lolich, who does not have a good move to first, but his motion to the plate makes it appear as he's making a move to first base. Brock got a big jump on him the last time. A ball.
He's got a rather slow backswing, Kurt. That's what gives the runner a good jump on him.
Watch Brock study him. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out, Brock at first. There's his move over. The Tigers are ahead, 6-1. This is the last of the 8th inning. He's got a big lead. Brock, like Maury Wills, says he prefers running against left-handers, even though they can see him better. He says he can also see their moves better on the mound. Wide lead for him. Lolich drives him back. That's what a player like Brock can do here. It's a 6-1 ball game. Yet now he has everybody stirred up. Whoa! Got to throw to Cash, and he's in the steal second. And they nearly threw the ball in the left field.
He had him read perfectly. It looked like he intentionally enticed the throw with that long lead, fully intending to break for second as the ball came towards first. And it worked out perfectly for him.
Lou Brock, who broke a World Series record last year by stealing 7 bases, has swiped 3 already this year. We have a 1-0 count to Javier, who's almost been forgotten by everyone at the plate. Ground ball hits the downward. He looks Brock back to second, throws to first, 2 down. And Kurt Flood will be up. When that ball was released by Mickey Lolich, you saw the shortstop Euler over at second base, and they had a big hole there on the left side of the infield.
And that's exactly where Javier was trying to hit the ball, but pulled it too much towards third rather than sharp. You know, it's with the World Series resuming in Detroit in the 3rd game, I guess one of the greatest base runners in baseball history wore the Tiger uniform many years ago, Ty Cobb.
Two down. Kurt Flood up. Brock at second. Tries to bunt as he did yesterday in the late innings. Foul back for a strike.
A fellow like Brock can sure fill the air with excitement.
Lou Brock has broken one record for stolen bases. That's in one World Series. And he can shoot at another all-time stolen base record. Foul back. The all-time record for most stolen bases in World Series competition is held by Eddie Collins. He played in 6 World Series and stole 14 bases. Brock has now stolen 10. This is his 3rd series. No balls, 2 strikes to Kurt Flood. 2 down, Brock at second. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Tigers have 6 runs, 12 hits. The Cardinals have 1 run, 5 hits. This is the last of the 8th that had just joined us. And he struck him out on that sinking fastball. No runs for the Cardinals. 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 8, it is still the Tigers 6 and the Cardinals 1.
In this remote part of Canada, people depend on the river. And by river, regularly as clockwork, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce brings banking service to them. The SS Jean-Briand is just one of the more than 1,350 Commerce branches in this country. It's typical of Commerce determination to make your banking convenient. Think how handy your own Commerce branch is. Here's why. Because the Commerce has more branches than any other bank on this continent.
Bank of Commerce, Bank of Commerce.
One of the world's great banks.
Left-hander Joe Horner now is warming up for the Cardinals, and already warmed up is Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Kurt. I know you and Harry are working awfully hard up there, but down here, some of the usherettes, and they're pretty, you can see, work hard also. Sherry Gaston, how many Cardinal games have you seen this year?
Just about all of them. I've only missed a couple.
So it's safe to say, I guess, you're a Cardinal fan, and
Oh, yes.
you're looking for them to come back, or you think they'll wrap it up in Detroit? What do you think the situation will be?
Well, I hope they win it at home. I'd like to see them win it at home because they didn't last year. And just all the excitement.
Well, of the more than 2 million people that came to this ballpark, I think you'll agree they didn't all come to see the players. Some came to see the pretty young usherettes. Thank you very much, Sherry Gaston.
Thank you.
Let's go on back upstairs to Kurt and Harry.
Second game of the 68 World Series being brought to you live and in color from Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, exclusively on NBC, where America watches more sports than on any other network.
Kurt, that Kubek sure has a tough assignment, doesn't he? All those pretty young things.
We're going to have a little meeting after the game. Al Kaline, 1 hit in 4 times. Starts it off for the Tigers in the 9th and takes the strike. Kaline had never played in a World Series until this one. There have been other outstanding players who had gone through their careers, Hall of Famers, Luke Appling, Ted Lyons, Harry Heilman, George Sisler, and Willie Keeler. Hall of Famers who never got into a World Series. The man we'll be working with Saturday in Detroit, George Kell, Minnie Minoso, Mickey Vernon, Cecil Travis, Rick Farrell, Rocky Colavito, Ernie Banks. Kaline has his 2nd hit of the game. All those outstanding players never had the good fortune to play on pennant winners. Al Kaline's on first. Nobody out, and Norm Cash has been the batting star for the Tigers. After fouling out in the 2nd, he singled to right in the 4th, hit a home run to right in the 6th, and singled to center in the 7th. He's 3 out of 4. 13 hits now for the Tigers. Tries to bunt, pops it up to Shannon, can't handle it. There goes Kaline to second, and a wide throw pulls the shortstop Maxwell off the bag.
Let's watch the replay. The ball is bunted in the air. Shannon just gets his glove on it. Naturally, the runner, thinking the ball might be caught, Kaline was near first base, so a good throw would have had him. But as you can see, Maxwell is pulled off the bag. So Shannon will be charged with an error.
And the Tigers have runners on 1st and 2nd. Nobody out in the 9th. They're already leading 6-1. Roy Euler is up for the first time in the series. He took Willie Horton's spot in the batting order. The Tigers threatening again, and the Cardinals now are defending against a possible bunt. A ball to Euler. who's had the distinction, the tag of good field, no hit, but an excellent defensive shortstop.
Detroit Ball Club rebounding from 17 strikeouts yesterday to 13 hits today, Kurt.
He makes that third baseman handle the ball. Sacrifice. That's the play on that one. Make that third baseman come in and handle the ball. A perfect sacrifice bunt with runners on first and second, nobody out. Over to third now is Kaline. Cash is at second, one out, and Jim Northrup's up. Northrup has popped up, flying out single, and hit into a double play. The Cardinals are bringing the infield in. Ripping away at the fastball. Tigers had a hit in the second, 2 hits in the third, a hit in the fourth, a hit in the fifth, 4 hits in the sixth, 2 in the seventh, 1 in the eighth, and another single here in the ninth. The only inning they failed to hit was the first. Strike 2 on a fastball by Joe Horner. Horner had an odd record. He won 8 games, all extra inning games. No balls and 2 strikes. He got him on 3 pitches. Northrup's out. 2 down, runners on second and third. Bill Freehan still looking for his first hit of the series. Struck out, flat out, popped up and struck out in this game. And struck out twice yesterday. They're going to put him on the first base open and pitch to Don Wirt, who follow Freehan. And if you Cardinal fans are looking ahead to the last of the ninth, the Cardinals have Cepeda, Shannon, and McCarver due up. 3-0 now to Freehan. Ball 4 loads the bases. Tigers have received 5 walks today. 13 hits. 3 homers. Don Wirt has popped up, walked twice, and struck out. Ball 1 to him. Mickey Lolich is on deck. He's itching for another time at bat. He'll be talking more about his hitting and his pitching, Harry, with a home run and a single today. Foul back. That's all those pitchers want to talk about, is hitting. And the outfielders are always trying to throw curveballs and knuckleballs on the sidelines. The grass always looks greener. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. That's the lead runner, Kaline at third. Norm Cash is at second. Bill Freehan at first. 2 outs in the top of the ninth, 6-1 Tigers. Three and 1 now. Lolich may get his chance.
If he does, his lead will have increased.
Joel Horner behind Don Wirt, 3-1 with the bases loaded. Ball 4, that forces in a run. Wirt has his 3rd walk. He gets an RBI, and the Tigers lead now 7-1. Slugging Mickey Lolich steps in with a home run in the 3rd. He hit into a force play in the 5th, struck out in the 6th, and singled in the 8th. And he gets a good hand from the fence. Ball 1. He hasn't been as overpowering as Gibson was yesterday, who is, but he's been a superb pitcher. The 1-0 pitch. Ball 2 to him, 2-0. The base is still loaded, 2 down. Carver decides he'll have a talk with Horner. Billy Muffet, the pitching coach, is out. The Bayou country of Louisiana.
Kurt, the Tigers have had 19 men reach base so far today.
Two balls, no strikes. 2 down, the base is loaded. A fastball on the inside corner of the letters makes it 2-1.
And if you want to count the man who reached on an error, that would make 20 men on base.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Strike 2 to Lolich, 2-2. Two pitch. 3-2. 2 down. Runners will be going on the pitch. K-line, Cash. Reject that. Cash, 3 and a word on the bases. There they go. Ball 4. Lolich gets his second run batted in. Lolich has now been on base 3 times. 3 walks in a row. Is now 8-1 in favor of the Tigers, and McAuliffe's up at the top of the order.
I don't suppose the scouting report was right on Lolich.
I don't believe they discussed his hitting too much. Well, if he holds on in the 9th, he will be the man of the night in the Motor City, and the Tigers return home tonight. Dick McAuliffe is Dick. Ball 1 to him. And Horner is wild here.
That's unusual for him. Control is his greatest asset.
McAuliffe is the 8th batter up here in the 9th inning for the Tigers. Foul ball heading toward the seats. Remember an earlier start on Saturday. 12:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Central, 10:30 in the Rockies. I always forget my Rocky Mountain people on that time. And 9:30 in the Pacific Coast with World Series report, and then the 3rd game of the World Series on NBC. One ball, 1 strike. High fly down the right field line. Ron Davis chasing it in foul territory. Still holds on to it. To get the Tigers out. Davis gets a hand for his fine play. 2 runs. There was only 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 left. At the end of 8.5, it's the Tigers 8 and the Cardinals 1.
A truck is a truck, right? Wrong. 69 Dodge and Fargo trucks are sport trucks. Here, take a look. New cushion beam suspension. Chrysler took the elastic off the bankroll to completely re-engineer the suspension and steering on Dodge and Fargo pickup trucks. A sway bar was added, springs redesigned, liners added, and a lot more to make 69 Dodge and Fargo trucks the sweetest handling pickups on the road under any load, bar none. Bumps flatten, potholes smooth out, rides like a limousine. And that's not all. Handsome new long line styling and comfortable luxury interiors prove you don't have to be ugly to be tough. Dodge and Fargo with cushion beam suspension. Sport Truck 69. See your Chrysler dealer. for Sport Truck 69.
The Cardinals' last shot in the last of the ninth inning. Orlando Cepeda flied out to right, grounded out, blooped the single to left. That scored Lou Brock in the sixth for the only Cardinal run. Mike Shannon and Tim McCarver to follow him against Mickey Lolich, who struck out 8, walked 2, and scattered 5 singles. No balls, 1 strike. Bounding ball by Roy Euler in the left field, where it's picked up by Jim Northrup. Cepeda has his second hit of the game. That's base hit number 6 for the Cardinals. And brings up Mike Shannon. Flying to right, grounded out, and grounded into a double play. A nifty one started by Mickey Stanley in the 6th inning, when the Cardinals were threatening and had already 1 run in. Gave him the breaking pitch for a strike. Stanley is playing Shannon deep in the left center. And Northrop back deep in left, shading the line. The 0-1 pitch. Another breaking pitch. That one got away with that one. It hung up there high. 0-2. Lolich has been using a sinking fastball, breaking pitches, mixing them up. He's been moving that ball around, in and out, up and down. And he's much quicker than he looks in the stands. Sneaky fast. Just topped it. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, if he gets this one, Harry, he'll have those motorcycles revved up tomorrow.
He's had himself quite a day.
Orlando Cepeda's at first. Nobody out. Last of the ninth. 8-1. The Tigers are leading. Didn't miss by much. 1-2.
Tigers have a comfortable lead. Certainly will make that 3rd game most pivotal in Detroit Saturday.
And it's going to be Washburn against Wilson in that game. 2 right-handers. There's a slow curve, and strikeout number 9 for Mickey Lolich. Tim McCarver has gone 0 for 3. Lolich, as we said before the game, has been a strikeout pitcher. He's averaged a little over 8 strikeouts for every 9 innings pitched this year. Line drive to left. Northrop's there. 2 down. 1 more out. And Lolich and the Tigers are all even. Ron Davis has struck out, flied out. Our statistician again today has been Alan Roth, and our production stage manager is Jim O'Gorman. So Mickey Lolich, who was born in Portland, Oregon, now lives in Washington, Michigan. Trying to nail down this final out. Cepeda's on first, 2 down. A strike. Pattern following much like last year. A pop-up down the right field line. Cash has room. That's it. And the Tigers have evened the series. Lolich waiting on the mound for Cash to bring him the ball. Lolich handcuffing the Cardinals on only 1 run and 6 hits. Mayo Smith going out to meet him. Tony Cuccinella. There's Mayo Smith shaking his hand. And the final score, the Tigers 8 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. The Cardinals had 1 run, 6 hits, and 1 error.
This is Jay Dahlgren of Vancouver. She, along with others like Abigail Hoffman, Irene Piotrowski, Elaine Tanner, and Beverly Boys, is a member of Canada's women's Olympic team. Canada's best athletes compete at Mexico City for the 1968 Summer Olympics in everything from track and field to swimming and diving, from rowing to gymnastics, from boxing to horse jumping. You'll be able to watch the best in Canada match strength and speed against the best in the world as CBC Television brings you complete and exclusive coverage of the 1968 Olympics direct from Mexico. Watch the action on CBC Television, your Olympic network.
Watch the Olympics from October 12th to the 27th.
Back to the star for the Tigers today, Mickey Lowley.
Thank you very much. We're down here talking to Mickey Lolich. Mickey, I don't know what to talk to you about. You're hitting or you're pitching?
Well, I'd like to talk about the pitching. I think that's more of a class that I usually fall in.
We were just talking just a moment ago, and you did a great job, but I think, now correct me, I think I've seen you have better stuff.
Oh, you're right, Tony. In fact, I almost didn't pitch today's ball game. Overnight, last night, I developed an infection in my groin, and it sapped quite a bit of the energy out of me. And I was expected to pitch 5 or 6 innings, then somebody come in and take over for me. That is, if I started for a little while there. I wasn't even going to start today's ball game because I wasn't feeling strong at all.
Well, luckily for the Tigers and Mayo Smith, you came around. What about your hitting? Let's talk about the home run. I noticed when you got down to first base, you almost tripped over the bag. You didn't know which way to go. You didn't know what to do, did you?
No, I didn't. This is the first home run I've ever hit in my life in professional baseball, much less the major leagues. And when I hit the ball, I knew I hit the ball good, but I didn't know how high I hit it. And I was watching the left fielder go back, and just as I got to the base, I noticed he couldn't go any farther, and all of a sudden I heard the roar come up from the stands. And I'll admit, I was looking at the ball, and I stepped right over the top of first base and had to come back and touch it.
Today, Mickey, of course, the Cardinals couldn't do much with you, but you sure must have some respect for them. Who impresses you? What about their strong points? What about the next time you face them?
Well, I'll have to go along with Lou Brock and his base stealing. I thought I had him picked off that last time, and he sort of outran the ball to second base. So I'm quite impressed with his speed, and I'm also very impressed with Tim McCarver against left-handed pitching. Generally, you find a left-hander has a tendency to give a little bit on me because I do drop down, but he was in there swinging the bat real good, and I was quite impressed with him. And also Orlando Cepeda. I threw a lot of good sinking fastballs, which a lot of guys will swing over the top of, but he hit them right on the button, and he got a couple of base hits out of it and hit the ball real hard all day.
Mickey Lolich, congratulations again, both hitting and pitching. Nice seeing you.
Okay, Tony, thank you.
I'm going to talk to your shortstop now. Thank you so much, Mickey. Mickey Stanley, come on in here. Mick, I don't know, they've been saying, watch out. Play in the 6th inning. You look like you're right at home.
Tony, thank you very much. I think yesterday getting the first ground ball of the game helped relax me a lot. As soon as I caught that and threw the runner out, I seemed to settle down a little bit.
Mick, you know, I was kind of in the same kind of situation with Casey Stengel moving at different positions, but I had had experience at short, and I knew the first series game I played in '57. I was nervous as could be and a lot of pressure, and I felt before yesterday's ball game, you must have been under more pressure. I know you were than anybody else in the ballpark.
Well, I was, no doubt about it, I was nervous, Tony, and getting a base hit the first time up in the first inning relieved a little pressure. Then, like I say, getting that first ground ball and getting that out of the way relieved a lot of pressure. I didn't want to wait 4 or 5 innings before I got one. Then with runners on and take a chance of throwing one away. So I was glad to get it over with.
Nick, what about the Cardinals? What about Brock in particular? He gets on first base and it rattles the pitcher, but it also rattles an infielder, doesn't it?
It sure does. The fielder covering, I know myself when he was on first base, I was watching him more than I was the hitter. I was paying more attention to whether or not I should be covering the base or fielding the ground ball.
I know I shouldn't be talking about yesterday, but I will just briefly. What about Bob Gibson? Have you ever seen anybody like Bob?
No, Tony, I think he's the toughest pitcher I've ever faced. I'd hate to make it a steady diet facing him.
He's tough. What about today? Nelson Browns has been a top winner for them. He was a little shaky today, but he's a pretty good pitcher, too.
He certainly is. I know I never got one fastball down the middle all day long. He hit that outside corner, and he got his breaking ball over pretty well, too.
Let's talk about the Tigers' plans, rather, for the third game, the opening game in Tigers Stadium. Who's manager Mayo Smith going to go with, or has he announced it yet?
Earl Wilson's going to be the pitcher, for sure.
And he, of course, does what, and what can we look for off Earl?
Well, Earl's a control pitcher, just like Mickey Loach. He's got a pretty good fastball and keeps the ball down. He gets his breaking ball over at all times, and Earl helps himself with the bat, too. You can count on him having some rips up there tomorrow night.
Talking about the bat, Mickey, I think, I was talking to Wally Moses before the ballgame. I've never seen a change in a hitter as compared to you last year as compared to this year. You've just changed completely. You're hitting the ball so well.
Thank you, Tony. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of depressing moments, but I think the big thing that helped me is Wally got me to shorten up my swing, short, quick stroke instead of a long, slow stroke.
Mickey Stanley, heck of a job at shortstop and center field at the end of the ballgame. We'll see you in Detroit.
Thank you, Tony.
Now let's go on back upstairs.
All right, it's 8-1, the final score. And Harry Carey, we were talking about the pattern this year, about the same as last year. You'll remember Gibson won the opening game, beating the Red Sox at Boston. Then Lombard came back in the second game with a one-hitter and beat the Cardinals 5-0. Lolich coming back for the Tigers today to get them even, and now they move on to Detroit. But Lolich did the job the way Lombard did it last year for Boston.
He certainly did that. He was an outstanding pitcher today. And I tell you something, Kurt, the Cardinals must know now they're in for a tough series because this is a good Detroit ball club. And as a matter of fact, even in the game the Cardinals won yesterday, you know, they didn't do too much hitting. They only had 6 hits, the same number they got today. So they know they're in a tough series, and now it goes over to Detroit. And one thing about the Cardinals I want to point out that each of the last 2 pennants they have won on the road. They won more games each year on the road than they did at home. So they won't exactly be paying patsies either over there in Detroit any more than Detroit was here in St. Louis. These are 2 good ball clubs. It's going to be a tough series, and I don't know, your guess is as good as mine as to who's going to win it.
Well, a lot of people, of course, you always favor the home park, but a lot of people think the Tigers will have the big edge in Tiger Stadium because of their superior power, but some of the Cardinals, McCarver, Brock, are going to like those short right field seats there, too.
I think particularly that fellow like Cepeda and Shannon, and Javier becomes a home run threat in the Detroit ball club. It's a big ball game Saturday, Kurt, with Earl Wilson and Ray Washburn.
All right, let's go back to Tony again.
Thank you, Kurt. I think my impressions of this, both ball teams, as a matter of fact, you got to look out for Brock. He's going to show them again up in Detroit, but the Tigers have come back. They're doing something they've done all year long, something that we talked about with Mayor Kavanaugh early in the ballgame and during the ballgame. They bounce back. They don't give up. They're runs behind. They've got the power to come back. They did it again today. Looking forward to a great series. 7 games, I think. Hopefully 7 games. I think it's going to be a close one. Let's go on back upstairs right now.
Incidentally, the last series victory by a Tiger team was the final game of the 1945 World Series. That was at Chicago when the Tigers beat the Cubs 9-3, and a left-hander by the name of Hal Newhouser pitched the complete game for the Tigers. And so some 23 years later, another left-hander, Mickey Lolich, wins the next Tiger World Series victory. Well, they're all even at 1 apiece. It was the Tigers completely dominating the day with 3 homers. They had 13 hits, and they win it easy 8-1. It'll be Washburn, a right-hander, and also Wilson, a right-hander, the 2 starting pitchers in Detroit on Saturday afternoon. So now this is Kurt Gowdy on behalf of Harry Carey and Tony Kubek, bidding you good afternoon from Bush Memorial Stadium. And this game is authorized under television rights granted by Major League Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner's office is prohibited. So don't forget to join Jim Simpson and Sandy Koufax again Saturday at 12:30. That's 12:30 Eastern Time for World Series report. And right after that will be Game 3 of the World Series. The second game of the 1968 World Series has been brought to you by
Chrysler Canada Limited and the Dodge, Plymouth, Roots, and Simca dealers who sell the quality engineered cars and trucks by Chrysler.
By the more than 1,350 branches in Canada of the Imperial Bank of Commerce, and by Gillette, makers of new foamy lemon lime shave cream and the new Techmatic adjustable razor. Tune in Saturday for the third game of the World Series over the CBC network stations. For the remainder of this time period, we present a short film titled Windjammer, already in progress.